Today on Trucks and Junk, I'm going to show you how to replace this broken headlight assembly on a 2017 Buick Lacrosse. Okay guys, I apologize, there's a whole lot of wind out here today, but the first thing you're going to want to remove is these plastic tabs, plastic clips. And the tool you'll use is a clip removal or a flathead screwdriver. So that's the first thing we're going to remove, is to remove this plastic cover over top the bumper. Now how you remove these is you'll force the tool underneath the clip like that and then pry up. And it's under the top half of the clip. So you got the clip, which is the bottom half, and the top half. You force the tool in between those two sections right there. And it's got a little notch cut out of it so you can fit that tool under there. You'll want to put these in a safe place where you don't lose them. Okay, we had one here on the edge of the bumper, one here, one here, one here, one there, and one there. And then the next thing you're going to remove is this screw and this screw. And we will remove them utilizing a T15 torque socket or bit, whichever one you guys have. Alright, now that you've removed all of those and the two screws, this just lifts right on up out of here and slides off just like so. You can move this out of the way. Okay, next up you're going to remove each one of these screws going across the front bumper here. Each one at a time. And you're going to utilize the same 15 T-torques. Okay, now that those are removed, you're going to lift up this panel right here. And then there's a 10mm bolt. Let me see if I can get you guys in here to see it. There's a 10mm bolt right there on both sides that goes this way into the bumper. You'll have to remove those with a wrench, a 10mm wrench. They're just hidden underneath this panel right there. But you'll have to remove both of them on both sides. Okay, now once you remove that bolt, there's a little tab right here that you got to pull out this way and then lift out of here. Just like so. You'll want to remove this piece. Okay, now that you've removed all of the bolts on the bumper on the top, now we're going to turn the wheel all the way to the passenger side, and we're going to remove all of these bolts inside the fender here because they're bolted to the bumper as well. So we're going to move each one of these, and it's utilizing the same 15 torques. Okay, so now that you've got that to where you peel this back, there is a 7mm bolt. Oh, I'm trying to see if I can get you guys in there. There is a 7mm bolt right there. I'm going to put an arrow on it for you. You'll have to remove that bolt. Okay, at this point, after removing those bolts, you should have created enough play in this bumper to be able to pull this back far enough to be able to access all the bolts on the headlight assembly. So you got a bolt down here, you got bolts up here, and all around. Now this headlight assembly is broken, so Once I get it out of here, I'll show you everywhere the bolt is with the new one. Like I said, guys, the headlight assembly was broken on this one, so I didn't really have to remove the bolts because all the bolts are broken in place. This will probably be the only reason you need to remove these, is because you've been in a little fender bender or something like that, or they started to become defective and the motors and computer chips went bad in it. Okay, so now that that's out of there, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the broken bolts, or the broken pieces in here where the bolts would go. So right here behind this part of the fender, there's a bolt right there. It's 7mm. You'll have to take it out. Then down here, there's a bolt right here, which is 7mm. You'll have to take it out. And then up here, right here, there's a push clip like what was on the top. You'll have to take it out. And I believe that is all that holds these headlights in on these. But I'll let you know if there's a different one as well. So what we have here is a new headlight assembly. I had to order this from the dealer because I wanted to make sure that everything was going to match, because we're not doing both sides. So I didn't want to go aftermarket just in case something was different with the aftermarket ones. But if you're doing both sides, you can probably save yourself a lot of money by going with aftermarket. So, but since we're just doing the one side, we're going with this one. And like I said, we ordered it straight from the dealer. You're going to take the new one and you're going to pull back the bumper and you're going to put it all back the way you took it apart. So let's start reassembling. All right, now we're going to put it in. Like I said, you're going to give yourself enough space in the bumper here, and you're going to put it in the same way you took it out. You're just going to slide it down in here. Be a little forceful, but don't be too forceful. Oh, okay, so we missed a bolt because this one was broken. There's another bolt up here underneath this piece. And take it out. So now we're going to take that one out and get it out of the way as well. And like I said, we're just going to line everything up. If we can get my fat fingers to do what they're supposed to do. I think something's hitting here. There we go. Now we ain't struggling so much. All right. Sometimes it's a struggle, guys. But yeah, now we'll put all these bolts back in. Okay, so now everywhere you have a bolt, you have one right here, you have one right here, you have one right here. These are all 7mm bolt, guys. And then you have one down here. If I can get you guys to focus here. This is hard to do. You guys gotta have one right there. And they're all 7mm bolts. And then you have that plastic clip right here. All those have to come out to remove the headlight, and all those have to go back in to put the headlight in. Okay, now that I've gotten all them loosely put in there by hand, I'm gonna tighten them all up. Knock my mic out. Sorry guys. This one's the hardest one to get to. But you can get to it. Like I said, it's just hard. Alright. Now that I've got that in there, now I'm going to line this bumper back up, put it back in place, and then start bolting it back in. The first thing we need to do before we do all that is let's make sure everything works on the headlight like it should. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and see if everything works like it should. Alright, let's make sure we have a headlight. Yep, we have a headlight. We got the marker light. Alright. Make sure we have turn signal. Yep, turn signal's working like it should. That's good. Now let's see if we got brights. Alright. And the bright's working like it should. So I call that a success. I'm gonna go ahead and start buttoning up the bumper. Alright, so now the first thing we're going to want to do to button up this bumper is we're going to want to make sure everything lines up like it should. So we're going to go ahead and bring everything back up in here. We're going to start with the other side since it's going to be the easiest. I'm going to line this piece up. Bring that in. Alright, now we've gotten that pretty close. Then we're going to want to take and pop this in down here at the bottom of the headlight, just like so. Okay, I'm going to pop this in around the top here, just like so. I'm going to line this piece up there. And we're going to pop these in. Just like I showed you guys on that Toyota bumper, guys. It all pops in. Alright, now that I got all that lined up, got it all set together, here and here, pushed in there like it should be, pushed down around the light. Now I'm going to start sewing it up down here. I'll get you guys set up for putting all this in down here. Okay guys, first up, we're going to put this 7mm bolt back in that goes in from the top here. Just bolt right in. We'll pop this stuff back inside the fender well here, just like so. And then we're going to put these 4 T15 Torx bits back in. Or torque screws back in. And that completes the bottom half. Now we'll go up and do the top half. All right, now we're going to put this bracket back in. These are a little bit tricky, guys. And then I'm going to put this hidden bolt back in. Like I said, that's a 10mm. The wind's starting to die down a little bit, guys. That's a good thing. I don't know if it affects you guys on the video or not yet. I haven't reviewed it, but there's a lot of it out here today. All right, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Put that hidden bolt back in and that bracket back in. I'll be right back. Okay, now that we got those 2 hidden bolts back in and the 2 brackets back in, now all we gotta do is put these bolts back into the bumper cover and then put that shield that goes back over top of that. So we're gonna start with them bolts. Like I said, they're T15. I'm just gonna put them all back in. You'll wanna try to stay with the dirt marks on these bolts. Keep them lined up, because that will make a difference on your hood alignment here. So you'll see those dirt marks in the bumper from where the bolt was shielding the bumper from getting dirty. As long as you line them up, you'll be just fine. We're gonna put all these back in. And now the last thing to go on here is this plastic cover that goes over top the bumper. Like I said, it just slide in right there on the rubber seals, right like that, and then you put all them black plastic clips back in to hold it in place. And then last but not least, you got 2 more screws that go in this black plastic cover, which are Torx 15 as well. Okay guys, that concludes today's video on replacing the headlight assembly on a 2017 through 19 Buick Lacrosse. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I hope it helped you guys out. Next week we should be getting back to the wheelbarrow rat rod, so if you guys haven't seen any of that, please consider subscribing and checking out the rest of the videos on my channel. But like always guys, God bless you all, and I will see you on the next one.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's